Hello, middle school students and parents. I'm going to take a few moments today to introduce you to this concept of a flipped classroom. Some of my science lessons this year, in fact, quite a bit of them, are going to be flipped, and I wanted to take some time today to introduce you to what this concept was all about. That way, when the year starts and we get into actual flipped lessons in the classroom, you'll have a little bit of background, and this may answer many, if not all, of your questions. So I'm going to take some time today to answer the who, what, when, where, and why of flipping. And what you're looking at right now is actually a flipped lesson on flipped lessons. So let's start with the easy one. That is the who. The who of a flipped lesson is you. You, the student, are first and foremost part of this process, and then there's me. I will be flipping most of the lessons, and I will be in charge of a lot of the content that gets flipped, although I will definitely add in some information from some teachers that have flipped lessons before me that I feel their content might be very relevant to what you're learning. So you and your smiling face and me. What is it? Okay, so I guess what I sort of imagine this to be is really no more of this. Okay, this you sitting in class, sitting in your desk, listening to content being spoken by me. I see it as more of this, which are engaging science activities, collaborating with your lab partners in groups, and of course more of this because we have so many of these technologies in the classroom right now that flipping a lesson will help us collaborate more with our classmates and use more of these technologies. So what is this concept? Well, basically, the lectures and the note-taking that are usually done in class will be posted online for you to watch before you come to class. The videos are posted on YouTube, and they're on a channel that is private that you will subscribe to, and they're very, very easy to access from any device, whether it's a mobile phone, Apple or Android, iPad, MacBook, home computer, any laptop that you can access the internet and get onto YouTube. You can find my videos. So basically, the time spent sitting in class will be spent doing science, and the listening to science and the note-taking portion of class will be done at home for homework. The videos are no more than 6 to 10 minutes in length, and will cover my keynote presentations that were normally done in class. So it isn't any big surprise or a big change to how the content is actually being given. They're the same keynotes, it's just me speaking to you like this at home, so that when you come into class, we can do the science. So hopefully that covers the what. How is it done? Well, easily enough. Step one, you just open YouTube, subscribe to my channel. It is cathedralmakerspace@gmail.com. Find the video that matches your assignment. So your homework assignment is actually going to be the title of the video, and there will be videos from 6th, 7th, and 8th grade science on the channel. So you will have to find the video that matches up to your lesson, and I paid close attention to making sure the video titles match the unit lessons. And so that should be pretty clear and easy to find on the channel. Click play and watch. Videos are no longer than 10 minutes. There are 3 assessment possibilities that go along with this. So 3 ways for me to sort of monitor the information. Number 1, you might have to complete a worksheet while you watch it. So those review and reinforce worksheets that at times came after the work or the lecture will actually be done while you're watching the lecture. Number 2, there could be a set of notes to complete while you watch, and these notes will not necessarily look like the notes that you used to take in class, but they will sort of help guide you through the video as you're watching. And finally, there may be a short quiz the following day after you've watched the video. And I like this possibility the best because it will be a short 3 to 5 question quiz that will be done online through something called Socrative or Kahoot, and I know you're all very familiar with Kahoot. It's one of my favorites. But these are online quizzes that give me instant information, instant feedback for me. So if we were doing a lesson on plate tectonics and there was something in that video lesson that you did not, as a class, catch on to, I'll know right away. And even if there was an individual in the class that missed a concept or misunderstood something, this immediate feedback to me helps me determine where to take the lesson that day. Do I need to take some time to reintroduce this stuff in class? Do I need to come up with and design some sort of quick lab activity to help reinforce the material? That short quiz is very, very important. So those are the 3 possible assessments. So when? Well, the videos will be posted at the beginning of a lesson. Okay, it's important to note that not every lesson will be flipped, but to be quite honest, I'm hoping that most of them will. I'm taking this strategy that all lessons that have big labs, project-based labs that go along with them, I'm going to make an attempt to flip. This does not take away from the opportunity in class to have a conversation between teacher and student. I just will not be standing in front of the class with a keynote giving notes that students should be writing down. The class time is going to be a time for question and answer, a time for scientific investigation, a time for current events, a time to discuss science. Seeing the information at home and then coming to the class with questions is a far more valuable way to use our time. Watching the lessons on YouTube will be your homework. And during the class, we'll briefly review the material and complete a lab or a project to reinforce the material. I'm working towards a more project-based and kind of design thinking methodology for this year's science class. And it is something I've always done, but there hasn't been a lot of time to do it the best way we can with all this technology that we have. So flipping these lessons is really going to help me do these project-based lessons, do these long-term lab investigations, think about design theory in a way that can be we can dig deeper and really get more out of the experience. So why? Well, this is the fun part. My whys are overwhelming. Number 1, we have, through the great generosity of parents, we have this new maker cart with so many wonderful things on it that we can use to investigate science. We have 2 3D printers this year. We have 3 different kinds of robots on the cart. We have Arduinos, we have Littlebits, we have Makey Makeys, we have Ozobots, we have Bear Conductive, where we can make our science interactive. I also have students in the 6th grade who are going to be joining something called Global CoLab, where their labs will actually be shared with classrooms around the world. And all of these technologies that we have will enable us to take science just out of that textbook in a new way. Here is what our cart looks like, and it's so exciting for me. And to be quite honest, I had no idea that we were doing something that was so special when we were doing it, but apparently it is unique and something that schools around the country are trying to figure out how to do. On this one cart that will sit in the science lab, we have all of these different sensors, circuitries, circuit boards, robots, 3D printers to help make science more engaging and to help dig deeper. And I keep saying that dig deeper because I think when so much of the science class time has to be spent giving information, there's less time to pull it apart and ask good questions and experiment. And all of the stuff that we have on this card is really going to help us experiment in a deeper way. So if you need more whys, my goal is to have more project-based design theory lab experiences. Project-based is not a cookie cutter lab. It's we have a problem. Here it is. Work with your team, work with your partner. Let's design a solution. And so I think that requires more than just a 50-minute class. That requires more time, that requires more collaboration, more innovation, more tools, and with this sort of flipped lesson experience, we have all of those things. It gives time to discuss questions and dig deeper in class. So if a lesson is flipped and students have watched it at home, when they come into class, they already have ideas and questions and thoughts and responses that they would not have had otherwise. So they're coming to class already ready to go with ideas. And so it will give us time in class to discuss those. One thing I know that students and parents will both like is lectures are always going to be available to review for tests. So if if we have an assessment coming up and the chapter is 3 lessons, all 3 of those lessons may be on YouTube for your students to sit down and hear me talk about the lesson. They may go back and review their notes while seeing the lesson. So it's no longer on a Monday, I gave a lecture on rocks and minerals, and if you didn't listen or you didn't take notes, it's gone. Now it's there. It's always there to review. And another important aspect is if you're absent, you're not going to miss content. Now, if you're absent, you're going to miss some really cool science that happens in the class, but you're not going to miss content because it will be online available for you. So I'm very excited about this opportunity. I think in science class, it is kind of a very kind of fluid transition because there's so much science to do that taking some of the just me talking and you trying to write it down, if we can get some of that out of the class, I think this is a great way to do it. There's lots of research out there on flipped lessons. It's not a new concept, but for us in a school that's one-to-one technology, I think it really is the way to go for my class this year. So you know where to find me if you have any questions. Please feel free to do some research online or email me any questions that you have. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your summer.